Hey everybody! Oh, what a day! Hopefully you can hear me. I don't know if anybody is going to be in here today, but hopefully I won't be here by myself. But either way, it is Saturday, August 26th, 2023, and it is AA Day. Yes, I scheduled myself to work this morning, so uh, that's why I'm late today. Um, Hopefully this will be the last Saturday I work. Hopefully I can get it to where I just work during the week. But this weekend was an exception because my husband's working all weekend, so why not earn that extra money, right? So, um, the dog is back here chewing his ball. If you can hear him, I apologize. He just he doesn't care. He doesn't want to listen, so he's going to do what he wants to do. Hey, that's annoying. Can you please stop now? Hey, right now. Stop. No. Anyway, so yeah, it is AA Day, and I would like to set some rules. Please, no judgment, no rude comments. Don't harass people. Just because they are in the chat does not mean that they are an alcoholic. It means that they could be a friend of mine, someone who wants to know stuff on how to help a family member. So if that is what it is, that is their business. And just saying hello and being in the chat does not make you an alcoholic or a recovering alcoholic, but you may be looking for that tool on what to say to your family member or whatever. So just please be nice to each other. And yes, I smoke. Not for much longer, though. So I'm going to read the steps. This is a 12-step, 12 traditions book. I can't read with my glasses on, unfortunately, but it's because I am farsighted, and if I don't have them on, I am very dizzy. So, but yeah, I appreciate everybody that comes. Um, and I think that the cruise-a-thon is going on, so I'm not sure on that. But anyways, I'm Sandra. I'm an alcoholic. We're going to say the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Step 1. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. Hi, Ava. Hopefully you can hear me. Step 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defective characters. 7. Humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8. Made a list of all persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. 9. Made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10. Continue to take personal inventory, and when wrong, promptly admit it. 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. We are in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. This is the 4th edition, and we are on 174, and I'm going to start at their drinking. They're my drinking. Let me get a sip of my soda. There my drinking became so much worse that the boy in the fraternity house where I lived felt forced to send for my father, who made a long journey in the vain endeavor to get me straightened around. This had little effect, however, for I kept on drinking and used a great deal more hard liquor than in former years. Coming up to final exam, I went on a particular strenuous spree. When I went in to write the examinations, my hand trembled so I could not hold a pencil. I passed in at least 3 absolutely blank books. I was, of course, soon on the carpet, and the upshot was that I had to go back for 2 more quarters and remain absolutely dry if I wished to graduate. This I did, and proved myself satisfactory to the faculty, both in deportment and scholar scholarship, whatever that word is. I conducted myself so creditably that I was able to secure a much coveted internship in a western city where I spent 2 years. During these 2 years, I was kept so busy that I hardly left the hospital at all. Consequently, I could not get into any trouble. When those 2 years were up, I opened an office downtown. I had some money, all the time in the world, and considerable stomach trouble. I soon discovered that a couple of drinks would alleviate my gastric distress, at least for a few hours at a time. So it was not at all difficult for me to return to my former excessive indulgence. By this time, I was beginning to pay very dearly physically, and in hope of relief, voluntarily incarcerated myself at least a dozen times in one of the local sanitariums. I was between Scolia and Charybdis now, because if I did not drink, my stomach tortured me, and if I did, my nerves did the same thing. After 3 years of this, I wound up in the local hospital where they attempted to help me, but I would get my friends to smuggle me a quart, or I would steal the alcohol about the building so that I got rapidly worse. Finally, my father had to send a doctor out for my hometown, who managed to get me back there in some way, and I was in bed about 2 months before I could venture out of the house. I stayed about town a couple of months more and then returned to resume my practice. I think I must have been thoroughly scared by what had happened, or by the doctor, or probably both, so that I did not touch a drink again until the country went dry. With the passing of the 18th Amendment, I felt quite safe. I knew everyone would buy a few bottles or cases of liquor as their exquires permitted, and that it would soon be gone. Therefore, it would make no great difference, even if I should do some drinking. At that time, I was not aware of the almost unlimited supply of government made to possibly for us doctors to obtain. Neither had I any knowledge of the bootlegger who soon appeared on the horizon. I drank with moderation at first, but it took me only a relatively short time to drift back into the old habits which had wound up in disastrously before. During the next few years, I developed two distinct phobias. One was the fear of not sleeping, and the other was the fear of running out of liquor. Not being a man of means, I knew that if I did not stay sober enough to earn money, I would run out of liquor. Most of the time, therefore, I did not take the morning drink, which I craved so badly, but instead would fill up on a large dose of sedative to quiet the jitters, which distressed me terribly occasionally. I would yield to the morning craving, but if I did, it would be only a few hours before I would be quite unfit for work. This would lessen my chances of smuggling some home that evening, which in turn would mean a night of futile, futile tossing around in bed, followed by a morning of unbearable jitters. During the subsequent 15 years, I had sense enough never to go to the hospital if I had been drinking, and very seldom did I receive patients. I would sometimes hide out in one of the cubes of which I was a member, and had the habit at times of registering at a hotel under a fictitious name. But my friends usually found me, and I would go home if they promised that I should not be scolded. If my wife was planning to go out in the afternoon, I would get a large supply of liquor and smuggle it home and hide it in the coal bin, the clothes chute, over door jambs, over beams, in the cellar, and in cracks in the cellar tile. I always made use of old trunks and chests, the old can container, and even the ash container. The water tank on the toilet I never used because that looked too easy. I found out later that my wife inspected it frequently. I used to put 8 or 12 ounce bottles of alcohol in a fur lined glove and toss it onto the back airing porch when winter days got dark enough. My bootlegger had hidden alcohol at the back steps where I could get it at my convenience. Stop! Sometimes I would bring it in my pockets, but they were inspected, and that because too risky, I used also to put it up in 4 ounce bottles and stick several in my stocking tops. This worked nicely until my wife and I went to see Wallace Beery in Tugboat Annie, after which the pant leg and stocking racket were out. I would not take space to relate all of hospital or sanitarium experience. During all this time, we became more or less ostracized by our friends. We would not be invited out because I would surely get tight, and my wife dared not invite people in for the same reason. My phobia for sleeplessness demanded that I get drunk every night, but in order to get more liquor for the next night, I had to stay sober during the day, at least up till 4 o'clock. This routine went on for few in- interruptions. For 17 years, it was really a horrible nightmare. This earning money, getting liquor, smuggling it home, getting drunk, morning jitters, taking large doses of sedatives to make it possible for me to earn more money, and so on ad nauseum. I used to promise my wife, my friends, and my children that I would drink no more, promises which seldom kept me sober, even though the day, even through the day, though I was very sincere when I made them. For the benefit of the experimentally inclined, I should mention the so-called beer experiment. When beer first came back, I thought that I was safe. I could drink all I wanted of that. It was harmless. Nobody ever got drunk on beer. So I filled the cellar full. With the permission of my good wife. It was not long before I was drinking at least a case and a half a day. I put on 30 pounds of weight in about 2 months, looked like a pig, and was uncomfortable from shortness of breath. It then occurred to me that after one was all smelled up with beer, nobody could tell what had been drunk. So I began to fortify my beer with straight alcohol. Of course, the result was very bad, and that ended the beer experiment. I'm gonna stop there. Um, Going through this book as often that I have, it never ceases to remind me that it's true. This book is true, and the stories are real. Um, I did that. I really did, and I'm being completely honest with you. Um, I thought, okay, I'll drink some liquor. I drank a lot of liquor, you guys, hard liquor for a long time, but I never thought that I was addicted to it. Yes, I said addicted because that's exactly what it is. It's an addiction to alcohol. People say it's not a disease. Okay, that's somebody's opinion. To me, for me, it is because if I go back out again, which I have already done once, so I've said it on previous meetings that I was sober for a year and then I went back out. And I can relate fully to this part of the book. And there's other spots in the book that I can relate to as well. And um, I did the liquor, and then I quit drinking for a year, and then I found a mixed drink. And I took it home and I had it in the fridge for a while. And I decided, oh, I'm going to go ahead and drink that drink. That was a big mistake. A big mistake. Because I went right back there where I come from. But then I found AA. And it was a game changer for me. Truly was. Because it's helped me to realize that I can live life without it. I can live a good life. I still have problems. But I go about that in a different way. A clear head. Um, I still argue with people. I'm still me, but I'm not the drunk me. I don't miss the drunk me at all. I was lucky. I was a lucky one and got out before it got too bad to my health, which I thank God for because it is a slow death. It is a very slow death, and it's scary. It it's very scary once you are sober and you realize, wait a minute, I did do that. I took off and drove a car. Yeah, I did. I didn't hurt anybody. Didn't hurt myself, but the feeling I had was bad. And so I know that was not okay, and I did not do that again. When I would have people come over to drink with me, I didn't like them to leave drunk, but sometimes that led to physical altercations, and I didn't like that either. So, um, the sober me is here to stay. I don't take any day for granted because you are not promised tomorrow that you will make it through the day sober, but I am today. And I'm blessed to be awake, alive, here, able to go to work, and not, uh, not, um, thinking about going out there and getting that drink or how am I going to get that drink, which is a bad feeling, because that is true. That is alcohol. That's the alcoholic way. Like, um, I did go and do all that stuff that Bob is saying, you know, going out there and drinking even though it's not good for you and all this other stuff and um I've gotten to have so much life without it. It's amazing. Even though the days are not all always rainbows and butterflies. I still get in arguments with my spouse. I still get in arguments with some of my family members. But at the end of it, I always think, what did I do wrong in that situation? How can I fix that? And it's automatic. It's not like waiting years and years and years down the road. I always say, I'm sorry about that. But I do have things that I'm not going to apologize for, but that has to do with other situations that is out of my control. So, um, I can only control myself and, what we do with ourselves and with our time and all of that is what we do. I just choose to do mine sober now. Um, Being an alcoholic, still drinking, not fun. Not fun at all. I don't like seeing people go through that because I went through it myself. and being the one to say, hey, you have a problem. And want them to know how much you care that you're struggling with that. I just try to reach out and share as much as I can. That sobriety is the best life. Being being sober is a lot better than chasing around something that's going to make everything worse. And that's what it does. It makes it worse. It doesn't help. It just makes it worse. And the problem doesn't fix itself. And when you admit that you have a problem, that's the first step. That is the first step. When you can look at yourself and say, I'm a recovering alcoholic, or I am an alcoholic, that is your first step. That's the very first step. And it's a hard one, a really hard one. I'm coming up on 9 years, and I do not forget those things that I did when I was drunk, unfortunately, because I remember everything and what a ass I was. I don't miss being that person at all. I'm happy to be me and be the real me and not be a fake. Uh, I'm enjoying my life sober, even in the bad days, the good days, the exciting days. My husband and I just had our 26th year anniversary together, and he's my best friend. He stuck it through all the alcohol that I drank and all the mean things that I did and said to him, and stuff I can't take back. But I made a change. I made a change for me. Don't do it for them. Do it for you. You have to do it for you. Because wanting to say, okay, I want to get sober, but I want to do it for this. No, you need to do it for you. You can't do it for somebody else. That's setting yourself up. We try to not set ourselves up. We try to say, okay, we need to, you know, do it for me. Don't worry about somebody else. Don't worry about their drama and stuff. Your kids, yes, they are a perfect reason to get sober, but you have to do it for you first. And when you do it for you first, then you're doing it for them. You have to get yourself right first. And that's where a lot of people get all jumbled is I'm doing it for this person. No, do it for you. Do it for you. You need it for you. You alone. You cannot take care of somebody else if you can't take care of you. And alcohol is not a way to take care of you. The alcohol is a way to slowly take you away or even fastly take you away. Nothing good comes from the alcohol. Nothing. It's just a fact. I can't change it. I could only change me. And I've done it. I'm proud of myself. I actually say, good job. You've done it. I have a voice to say, there's help. Go get help. They're everywhere. AA is everywhere. Here, there, on a cruise ship, on a plane. There is help. Look up Alcoholics Anonymous. And I know there's translators. Look up Alcoholics Anonymous if you don't understand my video. There's help. There's a lot of help. They're everywhere. You are not alone. So not alone. There's more than just you. And people need to realize we are not in this by ourselves. You're not the only person suffering from alcoholism. You are not the only person that is trying to make a better life for yourself. Take that step. Take that first step. Because the first one is the hardest one. Guarantee you that. Once you get your 24 hours, you can be like, yes, thank goodness. And keep doing the 24 hours. Keep going. You can do it. 24 hours. That's all you have to do. First 24 hours and keep it going. That's what I did. That's exactly what I did. And I have my health. I did not damage my liver, thank goodness. I'm sitting here completely sober and proud of it. And I know it's reaching people. So I keep coming back. I keep asking. If it's helping, keep going. Keep going. Every step is well worth it. Well worth it. And I work my steps every single day without even realizing it. Every single day. I get irritated at work. Yes, I do. But you know what? It's irritated at myself because I messed up something. And I like, but then I have to stop and think, okay, calm down, take a chill, take a minute, do it again. Yeah. Keep going because you're worth it. I'm going to read the daily reflections, and I am 8 years, 9 months, 11 days sober, or 3,206 days sober. And the phones have apps. You can get it on your tablet. Just uh, look up one and uh, download an app because they have pretty much a lot. They have a lot of stuff on it that help. So if you're feeling not great, check your daily reflections. It'll make you reflect. Giving it away. Though they knew they must help other alcoholics if they would remain sober, the motive became secondary. It was transcended by the happiness they found in giving themselves for others. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 159. Those words for me refer to a transference of power through which God, as I understood him, enters my life. Through prayer and meditation, I open channels. Then I establish and improve my conscious contact with God as you understand Him. Through actions, I then receive the power I need to maintain my sobriety each day. By maintaining my spiritual condition, by giving away what has been so freely given to me, I am granted a daily reprieve. It's exactly why I'm sharing. Yep. And with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I'm working tomorrow too, so it's gonna be a hard weekend. But on the plus note, I'm sober today and I plan to be sober tomorrow. But please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Um, I am here to help the next alcoholic that needs help and the ones who are still sober or even just starting. And you're always welcome here. And with that, I'm going to end the live stream. I hope you guys have a great day. I'm going to relax, kick back, and just relax my back. So I love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Keep coming back. It works if we work it. Love you guys.